So I have a bit of a question. Why is it that certain games are still performing better on PlayStation 5 than the Xbox Series X? And I'm not just talking about any old game. I'm talking about, in particular, lately we've seen stuff like Elden Ring have a significant performance improvement over on the PlayStation 5 side versus the Xbox Series side. You kind of get that a little bit, I guess, but when we have situations like this where it's like MLB The Show 22, which is a game created and made by Sony Studios, how is it almost 25% faster on the PlayStation 5 than the Xbox Series X? It's a question of questions, to be completely honest, and I don't want to naturally jump to the case that maybe their priority is to do a better job with the PlayStation version, and I realize they had their hands full because they have to make Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, well, they don't do PC, I don't think, but they did the Switch, PS4, PS5, PS4 Pro. They have to have all these different versions of the game, and it's a yearly turnaround for this. So I question it a little bit, but I also would like to hear your guys' thoughts on it because I find it to be very interesting, and I figure, hey, why not do a video on it? What's up, everybody? Crap Gamer here with Crap Gamer Reviews, your home for gaming news, opinions, reviews, and much more. You'll probably notice a few changes around here, but you know what? That shouldn't stop you from leaving me a like and possibly even consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your free time with me today. It means the absolute world to me, and if you are spending some free time with me, please like the videos that you do watch. Liking the videos helps the video to be seen, and it helps the channel to grow, which is very important. So I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much. With that being said, yeah, this is some crazy stuff that goes on with this. I realize that we're in a weird situation with everything that's kind of going on, and sometimes these games obviously are going to have different performances depending on the platform and things like that. So for me to see this is a little bit disheartening, to be quite honest with you. And NX Gamer actually did this comparison, and this is basically what he had to say.
This puts a very heavy stress on the GPU, and that means that even the PS5 and the Series X dip heavily in most of these sections. But sometimes that tune can be 22 to 25% faster on the PlayStation 5.
So we hear that it puts a heavy stress on the GPU, and it's 22 to 25% faster on the PlayStation 5 than the Xbox Series X. And so you're just kind of wondering, what's kind of going on there. Honestly, to me, it's a little bit, like I said, a little bit disheartening to see this kind of happen. But is it something that can be fixed? Is it something that is just going to be wrong with the Xbox forever? Is it, is that really going to be the case? Like, listen, I'm not one of the people that went around talking about, we gotta wait for this, we gotta, wait for that, we got dev kits and this kits and that kits. I always felt like that was always kind of a wrong thing to kind of go about, because I feel like regardless, now listen, I haven't had a chance to play MLB The Show yet, right, on Xbox. Like, I downloaded it, it's in Game Pass. I like the series, I used to buy it every other year, every few years on PlayStation. It just wasn't something that I bought every year because it tends to be very similar year to year, and I'm not the biggest baseball fan, whereas like when it comes to Madden and stuff, I'm a huge football fan, and so therefore it's just one of those things where I kind of look at it as like, I buy Madden, and yes, it doesn't change as much, but it's still a pretty solid game, and I like football better. So that's all basically I have to say about that. But when it comes to kind of what's going on, I just find it to be a little bit incredulous that the Xbox Series X, here you have this console that is far more powerful on the it's far more powerful on the Xbox, actually, and then to see it actually have to perform much better than anything on the PlayStation 5, which is much weaker in terms of what it can actually do on paper. So, I'm not going to blow smoke and go, oh, well, tools or, this or that. Like, I honestly think that, yes, I think that the Xbox probably could benefit with some updates and things like that. But I still think that, at the end of the day, we're at a particular point in time where, I think what is. I mean, are you going to wait 3-4 years for that to happen? I just think that some developers are probably at this particular point more used to working on PlayStation hardware than the Xbox hardware, and that probably just comes from multiple years of of people kind of going about their thing with PlayStation being the market leader. So it could be anything, and I don't mean to make excuses, but I do think it. Listen, both of them struggled at a particular point, but to see a almost 25% difference, just a little bit, you kind of question it a bit. So I figured I'd pose the question to a lot of you people out there and see what you think. Is it something that Microsoft can fix? Is it something that Microsoft should worry about? Should they not worry about it? Is it, are we waiting on the tools? Like what exactly are we doing here? And what are we going to be waiting for? Like, that's going to be the main question here. So, with that being said, I would love to hear some other opinions on it, because I haven't really heard that many. Obviously, when you see people talking on Twitter and stuff like that, mostly it's the same old people that pretty much just, want to brag about it, or, say, hey, look, it's better than Xbox, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, what's the root cause? I mean, we can all agree that on paper, at least, the Xbox Series X is definitely more powerful. So what's the deal? Like, what can Microsoft do? Did they overhype things? Did they, what went wrong there? Like, that's probably the big question, because here we are going on 2 years with this new consoles, and the PlayStation 5 is winning like 95% of the face-offs in one area or another, and you just sort of maybe question it a bit. I would love to hear some thoughts and opinions on it, just because I feel like it is a little bit of an unprecedented situation. Like, listen, the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro, like, there was no doubt there, when something came out. It was, it looked great. It was going to look better on the, on the Xbox One X for the most part, and that happened. But when we see the Xbox Series X, which has, maybe not as big of a gap there in power, but people are kind of, a little bit mystified, if you're an Xbox fan, as to why, we're not seeing proper games put on the Xbox version to where it should be at least even or closer than what we're seeing. So I would love, again, to know exactly what's going on. Hopefully, maybe Microsoft will, say something, because I remember early on, when the Xbox Series X had first released and all the games were running better on the PlayStation 5, people were, Microsoft was looking into it. They're like, we're going to look into it. We don't know what's going on, but we're going to look into it and find out what's happening. So basically, that's sort of what I'm hoping they do again. But it's going to be interesting, to say the least. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. If you do enjoy the videos, please like the videos. Subscribe if you want to. Tell a friend. Tell everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up. Crap gamer out.